What's up, guys? It's Jeff George with Let's Crush Life. I know I've been radio silent for about 3 months now. It's because I've just been super busy. I'll do an entire video as to why that is. Basically, 2020 is a dumpster fire. We'll get into that later. You didn't need me to tell you that. You already knew that. But anyway, part of what I've been doing while I've been radio silent and not making videos for you guys is that I went out and I bought a house. I bought a very, very cheap house. I'll give you an entire tour. We'll do a video on that as well in the near future. But we're going to have something that's very pressing right now. This thermostat that's right over here, it actually doesn't work, like, at all. Yeah, I missed that in the inspection somehow. I thought it just needed batteries, but it doesn't work at all. And we're going to be installing a Google Nest learning thermostat, because why not bring this house into the new century, essentially. But something that's cool is, you know, if you're new to this channel, Let's Crush Life is all about investing. And a part of my investing strategy is real estate. So I'm actually going to be doing a live-in renovation and be filming videos on how to do certain things so that you can learn and new people can find the channel and learn as well. And that way you feel like you can tackle stuff by yourself. But anyway, we're going to get started here. Something that's really cool. Everything you need, including the screwdriver to take off the wires, comes in this box. So don't think that you need any fancy tools or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and first step, basically, I'm going to turn the video over here. I'll cut this scene here real quick and we'll just jump over to where we're going to be filming this actual video. Okay, so essentially step one, let's see what's inside this box. I ordered this straight from Amazon because I'm a giant stockholder in Amazon, so I figured I'd support my own company. And let's just rip this thing open here. A little unboxing tutorial. I guess I've never done one of these before. It'll be interesting. Okay, so the moment of truth. Let's get this thing open. Make sure that you check your compatibility before you order one of these. If you have a high voltage system, it's not going to work. Basically, if your faceplate on the inside of it says anything about 220, then that's no bueno. So anyway, first thing you see is the Nest itself. It's got a cool little cover thing. I actually ordered the mirror black version because I'm planning on painting these walls, and the black's going to look perfect with it. Looks very cool, very high-tech, very futuristic compared to most thermostats. I mean, check that bad boy out. Anyway, I'm going to turn this light down a little bit so I don't blind myself. Jeez. Alright. Well, anyway, they say that this can pay for itself. I haven't lived in this house long enough. Actually, the whole reason that I'm doing this video before doing a tour video is because it's supposed to get down to 40 degrees tonight in Iowa, and I need to be able to fire my furnace so that the pipes don't freeze, essentially. So, it comes with a little book here. Let's see what we got. This is probably your installation instructions, but I've done a bunch of thermostats in my life. So we're just going to go straight into it. We've got 2 mounting screws. We've got the actual base of the Nest. That's what the Nest is actually going to go into. Got a cool little screwdriver, which is going to be really handy. But like I said, you don't need to buy any tools or anything like that. They all come with this kit. And let's see, is there anything on the underside of this? I believe, yeah, there should be a mounting plate. So then there's also a mounting plate if you are looking to mount it. I'm planning on refinishing these walls, so I'm actually just going to hang the Nest up itself and call it good. Okay, sorry about that, I'm back. So step one, if you haven't done it already, I already have. I went down and you got to go turn the power off to your heating and cooling system. That could be at a breaker, at a switch, depends on how your house is wired. So if you have a breaker, just go shut the breaker off. That's what I would do. It even has a little notice here that you can see telling you to do that, and you should, because you don't want to spark anything and cause a fire while you're doing this. Let's hope the switch works, because my breakers aren't labeled. That'll be fun. But anyway, essentially, step one is we're going to remove our faceplate from our old thermostat here. So mine actually just pulls right off like that. And here you can see your wires. Let me zoom in here so that you can see a little bit better. You've got your wires. And essentially this is everything that you're going to be changing right here, okay? That's pretty much what runs your thermostat. You can ignore all of this over here because it's going to be different compared to what we've currently got. So anyway, first step is to label the wires. This Google Nest Thermostat actually comes with a cool little labeling diagram, which is awesome because you don't have to essentially you don't have to label a jumper wire or anything, but you want to make sure that you label these wires correctly. So step one, something that I recommend, and I actually believe that Google does too, you pull out your phone and you take yourself a little picture of exactly how those wires are labeled, how they're labeled. Make sure you get inside there, you get all of the numbers and letters that are in there. I actually have to come to this side and I'm going to have to take a couple of these. So we'll do that. And then we're going to pull them off one at a time. Step two, I suppose, after shutting the power off, you need to grab your screwdriver, your handy dandy screwdriver that comes inside the Google Nest. This little guy. And it actually is double-sided. So, but you're going to be using, for this, I'm going to be using the little guy to make this work. And we're going to move the camera here real quick so that you can get a close-up view of what I am doing. Anyway, so you don't really need to see my face. And we're just going to be labeling the wires with these stickers. So hold tight, we'll be right back. Okay guys, so here we are. These are our wires that we're looking at anyway. And they're labeled. If you look behind here, I'm not sure if you're able to see it or not, but so from left to right, on the top we've got a W, an RH, and then a jumper wire from the RH to the C. And then down here we have a G, which is the green wire, and then we've got a Y, which is the yellow. Essentially it's color coded, but I'm still going to label these. So step one in this process is we literally just unscrew these wires. And you loosen the screw, loosen up nice and good, and then you can actually pull this wire out. Just like that. And so we're going to label that one. Like I said, you can see that it's a W. Here's a label that says W1. Let's see if I can get that in there. So there's a label that says W1. And we're literally just going to wrap this around the wire. Like so. And stick it to itself so then it's labeled. Now, no matter where that goes, we're going to know exactly where it's at. Then the next step is we just lather, rinse, repeat, and continue to do this for every single wire. So you saw what mine were labeled. I'm going to go ahead and just skip to the part where I've got all these undone and then labeled and everything, and we'll go to the next part. Okay guys, so before I jump to being finished, I forgot to mention this. Google says that you don't need a jumper wire. So see how there's from my RH to the C is a little jumper wire. It's a wire that goes from one terminal to another. Google says that you do not need that. I do keep that in mind because just in case I end up having to put a jumper wire in later, but they say that I don't need one for this thermostat. So we'll see if they're right or not. So I'm just going to remove that wire completely, just so you know. Now, guys, something to keep in mind is also that your wires might be different. They might be labeled different. It all depends on your cooling system. You could have 2 wires, 4 wires, 5 wires, 6 wires. It really depends completely on your system that you have. Anyway, I've got all of my wires labeled, and now we're ready for the next step, which is to remove this bad boy. So I'm going to take my handy dandy screwdriver and flip over to the Phillips side that is on the other side, and I'm going to remove these screws that hold this on. Okay, so guys, something worth noting, make sure you get a good connection. My white wire, my W1, actually I dropped, when I pulled my old thermostat off, the excuse me, the actual wire itself, the wire label came off, but I know it's the W1. But I did go ahead and relabel it with the W2, and I will pull that off when it's done. I just have that for a mental note for myself so that I know it's the W1. Anyway, next step is we're going to mount the base. Like I said, I'm not using the backing plate like some other people would. You may choose to, you may not. I'm going to prefer it without it because I like the look of the clean, just Google Nest Thermostat chilling there, basically. So, remember our little turn the power off? Well, let's remove that bad boy. We don't need it. And then you're going to look at these little connectors, okay? You'll see that these little connectors actually, they're quick connects. So you just push this down and stick the wire inside the hole here. And essentially that's all there is to it when you put the wires on. We're going to use the level. See how there's a level here that works, and to self-level our base. And essentially make sure the level's facing up. These are the screws that come with it. They are self-tapping. So we're going to go ahead and grab our screwdriver and screw this base in, and we'll go to the next step then. So we're going to take all of our wires here, feed them through, and get it down on there just like that. And I can choose wherever I want to essentially hide my hole the best, because I'm going to have to come through here and probably put some speckle in here and end up, filling in these holes. But that's essentially what I'm going to do, is mount it right here where it's going to hide the most stuff right now, because I don't plan on refinishing these walls for a little while. So anyway, grab our screws, grab our screwdriver. This is a Phillips head, so we'll use the Phillips end of the screwdriver, stick one of these bad boys on here, and they say they're self-tapping, so you get it to where you want, where it is level, where the bubble is in between the two places on our mount, and we just start our screw in here. Okay, so these plaster walls actually put up a fight. I went and got the old trusty Milwaukee. Made quick work of it. So the next step now is we're literally going to take our wires, and keep in mind yours might be different. Just make sure they were labeled exactly like they were on your old thermostat. And we're essentially just going to hook them up the same way that they were. So like how I have a G, my G, I want to make sure is nice and straightened out. Like I said earlier, it's a quick release, so you just push this button, push this bad boy in, and then they should stay down. So that's part of it. These are supposed to stay down. If this pops back up, that means you didn't have enough wire. So this is like, remember I said I lost my little label, so this is actually a W1. So we'll go here, and we'll push her in, make sure that it stays, just like that. And just continue with all the rest of your wires that you have. And here you go. You see that every one of those wires is connected and it's tucked in. So I pushed them back into the wall. That way that there's no bundling up or anything when we go to put our Nest faceplate on. So that'll actually be the next step. We just make sure that this is going to connect there. Line them up. Push her on there, and then we got to go put power back to our furnace, so that's going to be the next thing we do. So let me run downstairs and flip a switch. And once we put power back on, we are now, looks like we're cooking here. I'm sure it's loading up, trying to figure out what kind of system I've got. I know that we have to run a little bit of a test here at one point, right when we first start. And something else that's kind of cool is that we actually get it connected to Wi-Fi. I don't have Wi-Fi in this house yet, but I will in the future. As of right now, I'm actually just going to hook it straight to my phone's personal hotspot. So we can actually select our language. I'm not sure how you click. Oh, you push in. Okay. So easy enough. Confirm your choice. Push in. Okay, so now we're gonna click on the setup. I am the homeowner. So there's the equipment that is detected. We've got heat, we've got cool, we've got fan, and we've got power. So that's true. and yours will be different more than likely. So we're going to check it out, make sure everything works. And what kind of fuel do you have? This is going to depend on your house. I'm actually gas, and I've got forced air, and then it's going to ask me to download the Nest app, I'm sure, and to be able to control stuff. Essentially what I'm going to do here, I'm going to hit cancel, and then just not now, because like I said, I don't have the Wi-Fi yet, and I'm sure it'll be fairly easy to set up. So not now. I can add it anytime later in settings, so exactly like I will. We've got an internet connection, so we can connect to the internet here. We're going to hit connect. Then we got to find ourselves Jeff's iPhone. I believe that's me. Then we got to put our password in. And, you know, I don't use this for any real anything. But we kind of did something silly for this. So my name is Jeff. And in case you haven't seen that movie, it's from 22 Jump Street. My name is Jeff. But it's true. So we hit done. It's going to connect. I can see it's connected. So it's online. It's going to check for a software update, which could take some time, I imagine. And well, anyway, guys, we're on the downhill slide here. Pretty much after it updates, I'm just going to test, make sure everything works, and that's pretty much the video, honestly. That's all there is to it. As for installing Nest Thermostat from Google, you know, I really think that this is going to be awesome. And it says it's going to automatically update later, so now it's going to ask for my location. So let's zoom back in here. And that is definitely not my location. No. So I am in North America. I'm in the USA. My zip code is 526 0 and then 1. And this is a single family home. And this is the temperature. We should be heating because that's the time of the year that we're in. It's October 1st, actually. And we'll just go from there. So we're going to be able to set stuff. So we're going to heat to, let's do, for heat, I'm going to set my eco to 50. And for cool, I'm going to set my eco temperature, we'll do 85 in the summer. And then we'll hit done, and you can always change that later on, however you want to. So now we're on to the fun stuff, system test. So we've got it figured out, and now we can test it. So anyway, that's it, guys. That's all there is to it. We've finished our heating and cooling and thermostat. I'm going to run this test. And guys, that's all there is to this video. You know, don't feel like you can't do this. Anybody can do this with little to no knowledge on how to do it. I just walked you through it. And if you have any questions, jump down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer you. Anyway, guys, until next time, let's crush some life. Like I said, I'll be giving you a house tour here very soon, and I'll discuss kind of my game plan on how I'm going to renovate this home. Anyway, take her easy, and we'll see you in the next video.